Hello and welcome to a solo episode of the Weigh-In Bros Combat Sports Show. I am Chris Tidwell, and before we get started, I want to send out a special shout out to all the podcast providers for carrying us, as well as other shows that we have, like the Bees of Boxing with Steve Swift. New episodes will be covering all the latest in boxing weekly. Be sure to check out Little Brady's Recrap-O-Rama for a full spectrum review of things combat sports and sports entertainment. And be sure to keep your eyes and ears open for new things coming from our old friend, K to the MF and J. That's right, KJ's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to subscribe so you can get all the latest updates as soon as they go out. Now, it looks like former featherweight champion and current lightweight champion Ilia Topuria has taken some time off, some personal time off, if you will, because, according to Spanish news outlets, his wife, Georgina Bedell, is filing for divorce, and she's going to pursue 50% of his assets. That means one of his belts, one of his kids, and both of his balls. So he's taking some time off from fighting because if I ain't making money, you can't take it, honey. And it looks like UFC 324 is going to be taking place January 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and the UFC, for their first numbered event on this new Paramount Plus thing, they had to come out with a bang. And they're going to give you a main event of Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight champion, and the winner will be expected to face Ilia Topuria later on in 2026 for a unification bout. Now, that, of course, means that Ilia Topuria is even going to be ready to fight by the end of 2026. Who knows? The way that this is going, divorces, court cases, kids, money, cars, houses, all of it can take a lot longer than you think. Now, Arman Sarukian put out a tweet that said, "Make it make sense." Well, Arman, let's see if we can't do just that for you right now. See, because Arman is the number one guy, right behind the champ, Ilia Topuria. The number two guy is Charles Oliveira. The number three guy is Max Holloway. Number four guy is Justin Gaethje. Number five is Paddy Pimblett. And number six is Dan Hooker. So let's start with that one, Arman. You just got done fighting the number six guy. And you're pissed off because the number four guy and the number five guy are fighting. That seems a little weird. Stop being goofy. Now, why are you asking why Paddy? Why Justin? Well, Paddy's a 30-year-old that's ranked fifth in the UFC in the lightweight division, but doesn't have any wins over any fighters in the top 10. And Gaethje, it's obvious why he's picked. It's because of his pedigree. That dude has won 9 of his 14 UFC bouts, with 6 of them coming by knockout. He brings it every time. He also has, he's like 7th on the all-time list for Fight of the Night bonuses with 14. And there's that other little part where he said, "I'm going to quit and retire if I don't get a title shot." Okay. But they're giving him a title shot because when you're going out on Paramount Plus for that first outing, you need to make a bang. You need to send a message. And I don't know if Arman Sarukian's wrestling prowess that he implemented on Dan Hooker while punching him in ground and pound is exactly what Paramount Plus is looking for. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit of favor. Maybe it's a little bit of, here's a little bone for Paddy Pimblett, because what I'm sure they're hoping is that Paddy ends up winning this fight so that they can do the fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria. Because Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett already have history. It goes back all the way to 2022, if you guys remember. They got into it in the hotel lobby. Hand sanitizer was thrown. People were broken up. Ilia Topuria was currently fighting at that point. That doesn't make any sense. Fighting at that point at a completely different weight class, but still wanted a shot at Paddy Pimblett on the streets, on business, on notice, right there. But it never happened. And now they can make this thing happen because Ilia Topuria is a champion. And Paddy Pimblett is on a roll. Now, he's got 4 Performance of the Night bonuses. Arman Sarukian has 4 Performance of the Night bonuses. So it's not about that, like who's, I think it's more about who's more exciting, who's more fan-friendly. This is Paramount's first outing with the UFC, and they want to see some excitement. Now, you weren't going to get that with the co-main event. I'm sorry. I know this co-main event for this UFC 324 sounds cool. Because you got Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison for an actual championship, not an interim title, an actual championship. But I'm telling you now, folks, it's not going to be as exciting a fight as you might think it is. It's not going to be what you saw with Amanda Nunes and Cyborg. It's not going to be like that. Kayla Harrison is going to do everything in her power to make sure that she doesn't get hit by Amanda Nunes. So there's going to be a lot of wrestling. And could you imagine if they would have given that fight to Arman Tsarukyan for that main event to see who's for an interim title after doing a wrestling match that's going to probably happen in that co-main event? Paramount would be like, what in the hell did we sign up for? We're out. They're not going to want nothing to do with that. So that makes sense. Are you following with me so far, Arman? We're trying to make it make sense for you. Also, let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to UFC 300, okay? When Arman, remember when you were supposed to be fighting Charles Oliveira? And then you're on your way down to the ring, down to the octagon, and you end up punching a fan, allegedly. But are not allegedly enough to where the Nevada Athletics Commission could step in. They end up taking a whole bunch of money from Arman Tsarukyan, and they fined him for like 9 months or something like that. They could get lowered to 6 months if he did some like, I'm so sorry video for them. So that right there puts a bad taste in Dana's mouth, who also probably thought that they were going to get sued because you hit a fan, you dingus. But that didn't happen. They managed to smooth it over. Then you're supposed to fight Islam Makhachev. And before that happens, what was that? UFC 311? You had to pull out of the event because you had a bad back. You sustained a back injury while cutting weight. Now, some have said it was trying to lay game on social media creator Nina Drama, but who knows? Only he knows when it actually happened. And then he had to be replaced on, are you ready for that? On like, what, 1 day's notice, 2 days notice? Fight day notice, 1 day before the weigh-ins. And Renato Moicano, the money man, comes in, steps in. Didn't have that great of an outing. No time to prepare. So right there tells me that there is a favor. There is a gift being given to Paddy Pimblett and to Justin Gaethje. Yes, Justin, we don't want you to retire yet. So here's the gift of an interim title shot. Hey, Paddy, you want to cement yourself? Yes, here's a gift of a title shot. You want to get that shot? You want to fight Ilya Topuria? Want to get the unification for that belt? Want to be one of the only other guys from Britain to have a championship? There's not many of them. Here's your gift. But your grudge is just that, Arman Tsarukyan. Yeah, maybe Dana does have a grudge, but it's a rightfully so grudge. Because, I mean, let's face facts, man. Why put the money behind a guy who's going to do this silly stuff? Especially for that first outing. You have to hit this thing out the park. It has to be a home run. It has to be an exciting fight. Justin Gaethje brings that exciting fight every single time. Paddy Pimblett is going to be that exciting fight. So I think that Dana White hit the nail right on the head with this one. Congratulations, Dana. You don't hear too much from me where I congratulate Dana, but he is doing one hell of a job with this one. I'm excited about this card. I'm excited about seeing what they do with Paramount, and I'm excited about the year of 2026 for the UFC, for TKO, and, the boxing stuff that they've got coming up too, where you can also, like I said before, you can check out some of that stuff over at the Bees of Boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fantastic. Please check out UFC 324. Also, check out all the other content that we have here on The Law Live Audio Wrestling. One thing you always got to remember, we always say it every single time around here, and that is...
Come to the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
I mean, ODB says it best. And one thing you got to remember in the world of combat sports, get your fists up, tuck your chin,